I'm Neil.
I'm Pat.
I'm Michael.
And this is the 411. We're covering everything in the football world. Just a couple guys in a basement.
Why?
Nothing better to do. What are you doing?
It switches every single time.
I'm feeling good, boys.
God.
Boys, hold on.
Collect yourself.
I'm just sad.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Shh.
Because it's not.
Shh.
It's not the last part of the year.
We're about to get very sentimental here.
But hold on, it's not the last one of the year because we will have a March Madness special coming out where we make our picks.
It's happening.
It's be really cool.
But
for the sake,
last football podcast.
this is the last football podcast
ever.
Been a pleasure, boys.
Absolute
pleasure.
It really has.
So a little sentimental.
Pleasure.
But you know what,
Have
boys?
you guys
But
watch them every week.
You know what?
Let's
go!
Come on!
Start
Let's go!
Let's go.
So
Get going.
really special edition this week. So the question on everyone's mind in the NFL, but it's precisely New England, is Brady staying in New England? So pretty much this whole pod is going to be talking about what's going to happen. Who wants to go for it?
Well, you gotta give us something to start with.
Okay.
Give us something.
Okay. Where is he going to end up?
First of all, I think the first question should be: Is he leaving?
I'm just gonna talk. All right,
Well,
I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about
If
where
he's
gonna
leaving,
end up.
I'm pissed that he said that on that Hulu commercial.
I agree.
I'm returning on
All
Sunday.
right, come on. How much money it's gonna be? How many years? What does this do to his legacy? What are his requirements, like weapon wise? Like who does he need to throw to?
Start us off.
What teams do you think What teams do you think are front runners again? What team do you think needs him the most? We're just looking at everything. So, I don't like how I'm starting out my notes for the final time, but let's just get into it. So, for starters, I don't have too many notes on it because there are two reasons. Because first, you really can't. This is called an opinion.
Yeah.
There are no stats to back this up.
No.
You can
This
look
is
at
just our thoughts.
all the gossip. No. Second reason, I want this to be more of a conversation.
Me too.
Less of notes.
Absolutely.
So I'm just gonna say it, and I know I don't necessarily speak for all Patriots fans, but Tom Brady is really pissing me off. Like, this guy is really getting under my skin, and I'm really starting to kind of dislike this guy.
Nah, slow down.
I slow down. Yes, I will.
If he leaves New England and did all that, I'm pissed.
Maybe we'll see. He's annoying me. Okay. So, but you know what's weird? When football players get fame, just think about it. When football players kind of blow up, they can turn into divas and egomaniacs. So look at guys like
Antonio Brown.
Like Antonio Brown, Cam Newton.
I love how we all thought the same version
Yeah,
at the same time.
dude, I know it's Amy. Like guys like that, they get famous. Like Cam Newton won the MVP, and then got right to his head, egomaniac, diva, all that, right? Brady's been in the league for 20 years, something like that.
20 years.
He hasn't had that. Does he have an ego? Yes. Does he have an extremely large ego? Yes. Dude,
Why do you think so?
TB12.
It's just a brand. It's just what
he promotes the hell out of it. And
Build your
also,
brand.
Blame him?
Build your brand.
Do you
No,
blame
it's
him?
different. But it's also a little bit. I mean,
why? He's trying to make money.
Because dude, he's oh, I need to have my personal trainer Alex Guerrero on the plane.
It's a
but then it's also but Belichick, the head coach of the team, didn't want it. But still, Brady insisted on having it, and he got his way. Dude, Brady's he's a diva. He's an egomaniac.
I think you actually you might be right with the whole Alex Guerrero thing.
You're right. But does he? Is it justified? Maybe a little bit because he is the GOAT, but still, dude,
he's right.
You're
right with the Alex Guerrero thing. The TB12 thing is perfectly reasonable. He knows that he's not going to be able to play football forever. He's trying to set up his. He's trying to set up his. He's trying to set up his life.
No, we want him to.
His whole thing is that when let's say when middle-aged moms think Tom Brady, what do they think?
Football player.
How does he do it when he's so old?
Yeah.
And he looks to the camera, stage left, and goes, and you can too.
Yeah, I know.
Cookbook.
I know.
Workouts.
I know.
It's smart. It's business.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
You can't say he's an egomaniac for having a business. He's smart. He's taking what he's good at.
He's an egomaniac for many other reasons. Not maniac. He has a big ego.
I think egomaniac is aggressive.
Does
he have an ego?
It's sort of.
I just said
not deserved, but almost expected from how successful he's been.
No, not
I don't think it just completely declines the argument. I don't think it just puts it away, but he's the GOAT.
I know, but I don't think he should be this. Dude, like the whole commercials. Is he walking into the tunnel or out into the field?
Yeah,
like
you
that,
know he's
that
fucking
really
with
pisses
us.
me off. He's just like he just has Patriots fans.
He's
I'm like,
with everybody.
Yeah. So for some reason, he's turned to the biggest diva in the whole world. It's a fact. And Pats fans, just a heads up.
In the whole world?
Oh God, Neil, stop nitpicking
Don't be
nitpick.
You nitpick stuff.
What did I nitpick? I nitpicked nothing.
Okay, you nitpicked the
All
other
right,
day.
I don't want he
All
said,
right,
she said.
all right.
Jesus. And Pats fans, just a heads up. He's going to post these ominous things on his Instagram, and these stupid Hulu commercials,
That was one.
baiting fans into questioning where he's gonna go for a while.
Yeah.
For a while.
If he doesn't
Free
declare what
agency-
he's doing before the draft, I'm gonna be upset.
Well, free agency doesn't start for a month. So, in every day for the last month, I don't know if you guys watch like 98.5 the Sports Hub.
I do. I watch. I listen on.
So every day they have like day blank of the Brady thing. Like, where's he gonna go? It's a daily thing. So like even talk shows, they have like questioned every single day. Where's he gonna go? It's like a staple on every single one. It's like every day on the outline, it's where's Brady's gonna go every single day. So you know why? Because every fan is feeding into it. And Brady is doing.
He knows what he's doing.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
We're obviously interested in where the GOAT's gonna end up, right? So we all watch intently at all of his stupid, dumb posts and try to decipher what they mean. When in the end, here are the things that matter. I'm gonna list off all the things that matter. Who can give the most years? Not necessarily money, although that is obviously a factor.
Right.
But who can give like the largest years contract? You know, words.
But how many more years is he gonna?
How many years does he think? Like 3. How many years realistically?
45 years old?
Brady said he wants to play until he's 45. That's what
That's
he said, dude.
absurd.
That's what he said.
Is his body gonna let him? He
We'll
says he
see.
wants to now.
I'll let you know in 3 years. So then again, another big thing. The market. It's gotta be a big market. He's not gonna go to Jacksonville.
No.
Right? He's gonna
They
go
don't
to
need it. They don't need him.
Dallas or something, you know? Then he's got a
Nah,
stable
not
GM.
Dallas.
Dallas is the biggest market in the entire league.
Yeah.
If Dak Prescott doesn't go back to the Cowboys because they don't want to give him the money, and they'll give him to Brady, Brady can have the best offensive line in all of football, have Amari Cooper,
Which he hasn't had,
and
ever, and
Ezekiel
he can use
Elliott,
it.
a great
Can
running
you
back,
imagine-
and a solid defense
can you
with an
imagine
owner
that
that
guy?
would drool over him and Jerry Jones. Yeah, I think Brady would want to go.
Can you imagine that guy wearing silver and blue?
I can't imagine him wearing.
I don't want to.
I can't imagine him wearing any other uniform. But I'm just saying, it's an.
personally.
I
It's
think
so weird.
as of right now, and there's no way to really gauge.
I didn't even think about
But
the Dak
as
thing.
of right now, there's a better chance that he leaves than stays here. I would say that. So then you also look at the weapons. He needs weapons. He's not going to go to like a New England to where there's no weapons, right? They need an O-line because you don't want to be 43 years old taking hits all the time. And very slept on, Giselle has to want to go there. Do you think his wife, who makes probably double what he does, is going to want to go to like someplace like Detroit? No. She's not going to want to go there. So that's
And that's why I think if he leaves, he's gonna end
Yeah.
up going to the Chargers.
Me too.
Yeah.
He's from
Giselle,
there.
LA?
Yeah.
Well, Giselle
Yeah.
just didn't want to go to LA.
She said
And,
she didn't
and
want to.
Tom Brady also
She
said he was
wanted
going
to.
to retire a Patriot.
And Trump also said he was never going to run for president. And I know we
not getting
never
political
include.
here.
Yeah,
Alright.
we never include politics. but
Okay,
I'm just
then-
saying, like,
then don't.
people that have said they did one thing to like mislead like the media.
I
and
know
like, the
people
general
sway their
public.
opinions, but I just don't think Giselle want to go there. We'll see. So that's what matters. In the end, those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are 6 things that matter. And people can just rattle off teams saying who is the front runner. Oh, is it the Chargers, Buccaneers?
I think you gotta focus on are the Patriots gonna keep him first?
Let's be real. No, because the Patriots don't. No, he's a free agent,
I know he is.
so he's not a part of the Patriots.
I know he is.
The Patriots don't have like the first say in it.
I know.
It's
It's up to the discretion
I
of the fan.
think. Do you think I think their opinion
well,
carries
so
the most weight?
So it's not. If the Patriots don't, then everybody else will then chip in. In the past, it has been. But dude, the Patriots have just as much power as where he goes than any other team.
True.
You know, like that's a scary thing. So, but here's the thing.
Yeah, but the ball's in Brady's court, dude.
Duh.
Yeah.
He's the one who decides where he wants to go.
You know what I mean?
And every team's going to chalk up like $27 million just to have him there.
Right.
You know? So, here's the thing. No one knows a thing. No one knows. No one knows what he wants.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're all just guessing. He could
We are
end up
just
a
guessing.
Detroit Lion for all we know.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to say. Brady is turning into a diva. Don't fall for any of his posts or commercials because in the end, even Tom Brady doesn't know where he can go.
He's still my Tommy.
He's still a Tommy. Like
He's still my Tommy, dude. Like he's Mr. Right. He's all I've wanted.
all right.
Daddy, I
all right,
love it.
All right.
Dude, Valentine's Day.
All right.
It was a couple weeks ago.
But dude, I mean,
Talking about middle-aged
do you really want? All right, I know it's a very big oh, just take this out. Take all the sentimental, all the loyalty that he's had. Take all of that out of the picture. I know it's hard to know. Do you want a 43? Is he 42 or 43? I should know this, but by the time next year, what will he be?
He'll be 40,
August 3rd. He'll be 43. Week 1 next year.
Yep.
Do you want a 43-year-old quarterback?
I want him.
No. Do you want a 43-year-old quarterback who has obviously declined a lot? Do you want him on your team, or would you rather have a 26-year-old guy who would probably take less money, probably half the money, more incentive based, and so half the money, incentive based, half the age basically, and be able to build a franchise around that guy for years?
A weird concept.
Dude, Belichick wants that.
For years.
Belichick wants Brady gone.
So would you rather have Tom Brady or the guy just described in Teddy Bridgewater? Who honestly,
Teddy Bridgewater,
skill wise, Bridgewater went 5-0.
Dude, to be honest, here's my stance on this whole thing. I'm gonna obviously dive more into this throughout this podcast. If Brady stays, great. If Brady leaves, great. I'm really okay with either of these circumstances.
I'm okay with...
What if he's in a position to beat us in the playoffs? What if he's in a position to beat us in the playoffs?
He's obviously going to stay in the AFC. Well...
Yeah, you don't know that, dude?
Maybe not.
Cowboys, you were just talking about that.
I know. So that I just bit my tongue.
And do the Cowboys get it together? They're the Cowboys, though.
Well, yeah,
what
they have
what
the skill,
what are we
because
talking
Jason Garrett was their head coach. Now with Mike McCarthy.
Dude, the Cowboys are a
thing
good
is,
team.
McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers always used to butt heads. And Rodgers, I think you argue is a bigger diva than Brady. I mean, all the State Farm commercials. I mean, come on, that guy has a big ego. So, and McCarthy couldn't handle that. So it makes you think that McCarthy's going to be able to handle Brady, who also, I obviously want to say Brady's 2 tiers higher than Rodgers, but is still a Hall of Fame quarterback in the end. But dude, that's a very realistic thing that could happen. I mean, I would just say honestly, the teams that keep on getting thrown around, just for reference, are the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins, and the Titans. Those are kind of the 5 teams.
Bears
aren't getting thrown around at all.
Bears are getting thrown around a little bit.
No, they're not. Trubisky's their quarterback.
Trubisky's their quarterback right now. But how much time?
Also, new development. Forgot to say it. Matthew Stafford's being shopped right now by the Detroit Lions. They're trying to trade him.
Really?
Possible suitor for the New England Patriots. Talk about that.
I would be very okay with.
Sit back and relax.
I would be very okay.
What do we think about
Matthew Stafford being a quarterback? I've talked about this in past podcasts. He comes up clutch. He comes up very clutch when you need him to.
How many playoff appearances does he have?
You're right.
He's only 32. That's actually younger than I expected.
He's 32, dude. But I really, after having Tom Brady, I would want a young guy as his successor.
He makes more than Brady.
I know, but for 11,
he makes $13.5 a year.
Yeah, I just feel like
he makes $13 million.
I like Stafford. I've always liked Stafford.
He makes $13 million.
13.5.
Brady's looking for 30.
Yeah, I've always liked Stafford, but I want his successor to be young. I don't.
Dude, his contract's 15 or something, but he wants 30.
Here's a good question for you. If Jimmy G stayed, would Tom Brady have been benched this year?
If who?
If Jimmy G was still in the Patriots, would Tom Brady have been benched?
No. Because here's the thing. No, because if for some reason Garoppolo was still here and Garoppolo signed a contract to stay on the Patriots because he would have had, because his rookie contract would have expired by now. Right. If he signed a contract with the Patriots, I don't know why he would have, but in this hypothetical situation, he still would have played under Brady because he had in previous years. They're not going to resort to the young guy who hasn't really played in the NFL too much and sit to go.
I have a question. We were talking before about weapons. So I said it, you probably said it, I know Michael said it before. I'm not comfortable with Edelman being the number 1 receiver. And yes, the guy's good, but can we really rely on him game in, game out to bring the caliber, let me finish, of DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, or
I didn't say you did. I said he's a number 1 receiver. Julian Edelman is the number 1 receiver. How can you disagree with that?
No.
Do you think Julian Edelman's a Hall of Famer? Because I do.
I know you do.
I know.
Why not? so clutch in the playoffs.
Yeah, but playoffs, dude. And in the Hall of Fame ballot, they don't look at playoffs as heavily as like regular season.
I know.
Yeah,
But think about it like that. We were just talking about last podcast. There's such a consistent defense, and the defense has nothing to show for it because of the playoffs. And we've said before in other podcasts that defenses can carry teams. So regardless of what happens with this Brady thing, if he stays and the offense sucks, if it's somebody else and he's this defense, we're going to be in the playoffs next year.
Question?
We're going to be in the playoffs. Hold on. We're going to be in the playoffs next year. The question is, so I'm saying that if Edelman goes off in the playoffs, why does it matter what happens in the regular season? For the sake of the Patriots. As long as he goes off in the playoffs, the defense can carry us to the playoffs.
For a second. Say the end of it one more time.
We were just talking about how Julian Edelman plays really well in the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
So if the defense, which we've talked about in past podcasts, are extremely dominant and really won't change too much this year, can they, and we talk about how defenses can carry teams, what if they carry them to the playoffs next year? I don't think they're going to have a high seed, but I think they're going to be at least a 3 or 4 seed next year in the playoffs. Will Edelman be able...
4 or 5. It all depends on if Brady's here. Dude, it's too early to predict
True. Will Edelman be able to be able...
We don't know what
here's the
trade
thing.
moves they're going to make in the offseason.
Exactly.
We don't know.
There's a lot of question marks, and that's why I think this podcast... That's why I think this podcast is so
dude,
interesting.
Here's the thing. Here's a very... Not realistic, but here's the thing that could happen. They could let Brady walk, trade up in the draft, and draft like Tua. Like... I'm not saying they're gonna do that.
That could happen.
But that's the thing is that
that's how many question marks there are.
Bing, bing, bing.
Imagine
you don't
Tua
know
and the Patriots
what's gonna
jersey.
happen. And also, just to touch, I got this. To touch on
Today, Junior.
To touch on how Edelman's this great playoff wide receiver, which he is. Obviously, second all time in yards and touchdowns. He had 3 catches for 30 yards against the Titans. As I've said, it's nothing to write home about.
I mean, as I
Look at this position that he's in.
So like,
Antonio Brown would come back, yes or no?
No. That's the Patriots. Maybe the NFL.
I'd be
Why
surprised
not?
if he's not in jail next year.
Seriously.
God, that guy's not going to be in a.
Maybe he'll get it together.
He's too much of a nutcase. He's not going to get it back.
CFL, XFL. I mean, what?
Yeah. He's not going to be back. I'm not worried about that. But I think you have whoever raised it, you raised a good point about the weapons. I touched on it earlier, but you got to say it again. I mean, that's the reason Brady kind of wants to leave, is because he doesn't have the weapons. And Brady's like, you know what?
He said numerous times that if he has the weapons,
he can.
He's demanding. He wants weapons.
He said, I don't necessarily need $30 million. I just need weapons for the Patriots. I mean, I don't know if he directly said that or like a source close to him did. I don't know. It's all he said, she said right now in this process.
There's so much he said, she said, but and Michael said at the beginning of this podcast, we can't focus on it, but I feel like we have to because it's all we have, dude.
Yeah.
It's all we have. Yeah. There was one thing where Robert Kraft...
We're probably going to have a podcast just like this like a few months from now, touching on, Tom Brady is on blank team.
Yeah.
What does this do to the Patriots? Where do they go from
100%.
here?
One thing I definitely want you to think about, though, is I'm going to give another circumstance, another scenario. It's overanalyzing. I'm being a Patriots fan and trying to figure out what's happening, but that's all we have right now. It's all you guys have right now, as Patriots fans and beyond.
And Tom knows that. And I think that's the most frustrating part.
I agree.
For me, like...
There was a fan... That was heckling Robert Kraft going into his limo, and he said, "Sign Tom Brady, sign Tom Brady." And Kraft responded, he's like, we plan on it, like we're trying.
Yeah. No, Kraft has been the most vocal and clear out of anyone here. I mean,
Kraft wants Brady to stay.
We want Brady back, but back to my thing I was saying earlier. When you're Tom Brady, okay, I don't know what the year. It's either 4 or 5 years ago. I'm sorry, but either 4 or 5 years ago, you just went to a Super Bowl, right? And in that offseason, they draft a quarterback in the 2nd round. That's a very high pick. 2nd round, I mean, that's top 60, right? So you draft a quarterback in the 2nd round who is supposed to be Brady's replacement. Now, when you're Tom Brady, you're 38 years old, but you've said and you feel, I could play another 7 years in the NFL. So you're like, if I could play another 7 years in the NFL, and they're drafting my replacement after I just went to the Super Bowl, why would I want to stay here?
Yeah.
And for him to tough it out, winning 2 more Super Bowls, tough it out, and going, my train of thought, and staying here for a few more years, and now they're talking about like replacements for Tom Brady. I mean, how would you feel? You know, how would you feel if you're the GOAT and you're like, I've won 6 Super Bowls, but they're trying to replace me, even though I can play a few more years?
Yeah, but so he thinks.
Wouldn't you kind of want to go out?
So he thinks. So he thinks he can play another couple of years.
Dude.
Do you think he's
At
living with
40
rocks in his
Dude,
brain?
at 39, Max Kellerman said this is the year that Brady falls off a cliff.
And it
3
never
years
happened.
Later,
But
3 years later, he's won 2 more Super Bowls.
Of
so
course.
Brady has proven the haters wrong so far.
Yeah, but what happened?
39's a lot different
But
than
what-
45.
What happened this season?
No. But Kellerman said this year, at 40 years old, he's going to fall off a cliff.
They didn't.
Then he won the Super Bowl and won it 2 years later. So what makes you think that he can't go to 45? Because yes, there's been a drop-off, but there was also a drop-off in the offensive line because sadly, they lost David Andrews, got a few blood clots, which is really sad. I hope he's getting better.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's his face? Isaiah Wen, their left tackle, got injured for the first half of the season. They were playing with, I can't remember his name, but I remember hating him. Marshall Newhouse. They were playing with like Joe Tooney didn't
Don't
live
get
up.
me going with the Marshall Newhouse.
Joe Tooney didn't necessarily live up to what.
Not gonna
he
lie to
thought.
you. Not gonna lie to you. I was kind of zoning out for about 5 seconds, and then I heard Marshall Newhouse right back into it. Don't get me going with that guy.
So they played with a backup center. Shaq Mason played well, but he wasn't a Pro Bowler as many people thought. Joe Tooney
must
didn't
suck.
play as well people thought. And their right tackle, who's the right tackle?
Time out. Imagine Marshall Newhouse like walking into a bar and being like, "My name is Marshall Newhouse," and people from Boston being like, "Shut up!" Like throwing things at him. Like,
People don't hate him, but like, he
no, I
sucks.
feel like
Marcus Cannon.
Marcus
He had injuries the entire season. So think about it.
Marcus Cannon.
The offensive line was banged up the entire year. As we've stated before, Brady for the most of the season did not have weapons. I'm not saying Belichick didn't try, because he did.
He tried.
He went out
He
and
got
got,
tooth and nail for those weapons.
he got Antonio Brown, and he also got Josh Gordon last year, kept him around, nurtured him, tried, and then sadly,
I
He
just
went
think
back.
I think that, and I mentioned on a previous podcast, I just don't think Gordon fit well in the offense. And Michael said, I think he was name over talent.
he is name over
He
talent.
is, but he was a deep threat. I think he would have fit fine.
If they
But
needed
he's
a
name
deep
over
threat,
talent.
because you know what really slept on? They dropped Hogan, which was huge. Because when you're a defense, and you're looking...
across.
He plays lacrosse. Yeah.
I had no idea.
He plays
I had no
lacrosse.
idea.
Did you not know
I
that?
did.
Did you not know that, Michael? He plays lacrosse. Sorry. Go ahead.
So anyway, when you're a defense and you look at the wide receiver depth chart for the Patriots, you're like, huh. Julian Edelman, Jacoby Myers.
Like you should just
There's no
close
deep threat
the
there.
depth chart.
There's no
right
deep
there.
threat. So if you're a defense, you can just
You
sit
can-
like
you
a
can
cover
game- you
one
can
the
game
entire
plan for
time,
that.
play up close. It's not hard. So when you're Brady and every single pass is contested, and you also don't have Gronk. You don't have that guy that you can go to on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10 for those clutch third downs. You don't have that run block
We'll
anymore.
have 3 dudes on him, still catch it, and then run for 7
Exactly.
yards.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have those guys that can
7 additional
that guy who
yards.
can run block for you. That's huge. And you lose Hogan, and you lose Amendola a few years ago, and you replace it with a nutcase Antonio Brown, and you replace it with, and you get back Josh Gordon, who was iffy from the start, and he never really turned into what you thought he was going to turn into. And then you never addressed Julian Edelman's age, and he was banned the entire year, and he had surgery the entire season.
How are they? That's a really good question. That's why I talked about Edelman. Yes, he's a maybe Hall of Famer, definitely a clutch in the playoffs. How are they going to address his injuries next season?
Well, they're obviously going to give him
He's
surgery.
gonna heal up.
He's gonna
Yeah,
get
give him
surgery.
surgery.
He'll be fine by training camp.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is that
the dude's bad.
I would, yeah,
He's
but
battered,
I would
dude,
say,
but nothing
I would
surgery
say
can't
age
fix.
over a big weapon. It's hard to replace him. So I mean, that's kind of all I have.
I want to do something.
Mhm.
I want to go around and say our final thoughts. Tom Brady, what's going to happen, stay, leave, in general. And we can just debate it.
I
And I
think
really want to hear your final. We've had a lot of is this going to happen? I don't know. Maybe. I want to hear
we
your.
posed a lot of questions.
I want to hear
A
you
lot,
guys'
and I'm sorry for
final
that, but-
thoughts.
I think he stays, and I am the sole part. Do you guys both think he's leaving?
I think
I haven't
I
answered
think
that.
he's gone. I think he's
You
gone.
think he's gone?
I really would like him
You're
to stay, but he's
undecided.
gone.
I think
Well, no.
he's
All right. I give your give what
Okay.
you think first.
so. I think he stays, and I also think that I don't think he's gonna be. I think this year or last year will be his last. And Michael asked before, like, what is this gonna do to his legacy?
Nothing. This will do nothing.
Brady will go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest quarterback of all
Greatest
time.
Is the greatest.
He's
Hands
the
down.
greatest of all time.
His last throw this past season was an interception. Is that what's going to define him? Like, no. The guy's got 6 rings, over just under 6,400 completions, a 64% completion rate, 541 career touchdowns, and a career 1.8 interception rate. I think he stays. I don't.
The question is,
because-
are the Patriots going to give him the weapons that he wants? Or are the Patriots going to cave?
I think he only stays if the
I think the
Patriots,
Patriots are going to go out and get weapons regardless,
Well, all right,
because
hold
they
on.
need
Before-
weapons. Regardless of who's the quarterback, you need somebody to throw
All right,
to.
I'm gonna rattle off
I don't
some
think
of
you
the.
can throw
So we keep on saying like get him weapons, but we gotta say like.
Let's be
who.
specific.
So I'm gonna rattle off obviously they can make trades. You know
Mm-hmm.
they have picks that they can trade, but I'm gonna rattle off some of the wide receivers that are going to be free agents this year. So you have Amari Cooper, and these are all unrestricted guys. Okay, these guys are not on a team, right? Amari Cooper,
Oh yeah, he only had that 1-year deal with Dallas.
AJ Green. He's coming off
I
injuries.
don't want AJ Green.
I do
either.
want. I want AJ Green.
I
No,
don't
not
want
at
AJ.
all.
I want him, dude. He had potential to come back after week 6, and they signed him for the entire year.
I just don't want
He's
AJ.
gonna be healthy by the time next year rolls around.
Yeah.
He's 31 years old.
He's just been so
You
disappointing.
don't end at 31. I know. I said like sign younger guy, or not. I didn't even say sign younger guys, but I said like Edelman's aging. If you have a talent like AJ Green who hasn't played in over a year and a half,
I want
I
a
get
young
one.
guy, dude. I want a young
All right.
receiver.
Anyway, so you have Emmanuel Sanders, who has been injury riddled in the past. Robbie Anderson, Randall Cobb, Rashad Perryman, Dola,
Whoa.
Dorsett, and hold on, is there one other here?
Dola. Where is
Dev-
he? Is he
Devin
in the Lions right
Funchess?
now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
Nelson Aguilar, and that's it. So
Dola.
that's your top 10 right there.
I would love to see
Wow.
Amari Cooper, but I don't think it's
It's-
likely.
Can you imagine
but you're
that?
not. So I would say after.
No, never say never. Never say never. All right, I saw a meme a day before. It was like on memes Antonio Brown in a Patriots uniform. I was like, that's never gonna happen. The
Yeah.
next day, I'm spinning a pizza, and my boss goes, "They just signed Antonio Brown. Just got the alert." I was like, "Are you kidding me right
Dude,
now?"
literally,
Like, I didn't
It
believe
was so
it.
funny. I was sitting in my room. I just got after a shower. I'm just sitting there in my towel. I'm just chilling. Because, you know,
As one does.
as
Like,
one
you
does.
you
I'm
sit
chilling
your
there in my
like-
towel. And the same thing, I saw like the meme. And some kid in me and Neil's grade posted it. I'm like, I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed at it because I thought it was a meme. Because when like you post something on your Instagram story, it doesn't come up who it is. So I thought it was just some like meme.
It looks official.
It was just some meme like page. I was like,
Like they crop like Sports Center.
and then
they
I
make
saw it
look
again. I was like, and then I saw it again. I was like, I go back up here. Antonio Brown. Mom! Dad! No way! I was just flipping out. One game. Tear.
So I want to go back to AJ Green though,
I don't want him.
but I know why you don't want him because you haven't seen him in a while. This guy made 5 or 6 straight Pro Bowls.
I don't.
That's you can't deny his talent.
I just don't want to see this guy. Like he's just been so disappointing for me for so long.
But dude, if you can get him on like a, you know what? You haven't played in a while. We don't know what you're capable of. We'll sign to a $5 million
Yeah, will he want a lot?
contract.
dude, if he's asking for a lot,
Well,
I
no,
ain't
He hasn't
interested.
played it for a year and a half, and he was sitting on the Bengals bench. You think he's gonna want a lot of money?
It's a good
AJ
point.
Green.
It's a
I don't
good
know.
point.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Who knows? Well, who knows what he's gonna want? I mean, because it all depends. He'd be like, guys, I just sat 2 years. I'm healthier than ever. Or he'd be like, I don't know.
I
I'm
sat for
banged
2
up.
years. Yeah, maybe I'm like, maybe I'm not
So,
worth
but
what
then,
I think I'm
mean,
worth.
Emmanuel Sanders also banged up. I mean, Amari Cooper had a very banged up season. I mean, the only guy I see on this list is Robbie Anderson, who hasn't had a whole lot of injuries. I mean, Randall Cobb
When you
also,
said,
he's been
I
relatively
like the
healthy.
sound of Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, Rashad Perryman. I like Rashad Perryman because in the game that Mike Evans was injured, he had like 150 yards. So like this guy, outside of like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, if he's like a number 2 or 3 receiver, I don't want that to happen. But if he is, I think he can like, kind of like step to the task. You know, so I wouldn't mind having him. Another guy, I'm just rattling them off all. Kendrick Bourne. He was the San Francisco 49ers wide receiver.
Who?
Kendrick Bourne. He's a wide receiver for the 49ers.
Okay.
He didn't have a lot of stats. Wasn't like he was probably like 4th in the depth chart.
What do you like?
But this guy brings the energy. This guy's like he's got that dog mentality. He's like Pat. He's like Pat.
Did somebody say he's got the energy?
He
I want him on the Patriots. That's what I want.
He might not be the best, but he's got the energy.
So final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
My final thoughts. Brady's leaving. He's going to L.A. Giselle wouldn't like it up there. I think she's a Hollywood woman. Clearly, she's a model. I think he wants to
Supermodel.
super. And he wants to end his. I think he wants to end his career. It wouldn't surprise me if he wanted to end his career in his home state.
One of those mansions.
And I think from the Chargers' perspective, you look at it and say,
We got rid of Rivers.
we got rid of Rivers. Our fan base has gone so downhill. It's ridiculous. We need a big name guy to draw crowd.
I think Brady's kind of big name.
I'd say he's a little bit big name.
Final thoughts. I say he's staying.
I think he stays because of this. Brady, if he leaves, so Belichick, he's like Mr. Krabs, right? He likes his money. All right. If Brady leaves, the Patriots lose $13.5 million.
Yeah.
I don't think Belichick wants to do that. It's a very small detail, but it's one that isn't being talked about enough because I think in the end that's going to be a factor in whether or not he leaves. Right now, I think he stays. That could change as early as like next week. Like that's the kind of
something could happen like literally in 10 minutes.
Honestly, the point of this podcast is just to give the lay of the land on what's kind of going on right now. I mean, the opinions are going to change. Brady's going to put out another post soon that's going to sway him. He's going to be like, joke around, haha, Chargers uniform, right? And then people are going to be like, oh, Chargers, he's done. And a week after that, he's like, I love my Patriots fans. Like, it's going to change. And that's the life that we're going to
Taking a quick trip to Dallas for no reason.
Yeah.
Wow, this stadium's so nice. Whoa, Jerry Jones, your office is awesome. Wow, nice digs. Like, we do, like...
Yeah.
That's all I got.
So are we going to do top three? Are we gonna do top
We'll do top
We
three.
can do top three.
Let's do
So
it.
let's do a top three
Fast foods.
fast foods. Fast
Top
foods.
Fast foods.
So, okay, top three. I gotta go. I love the milkshakes. Sonic at number 3.
That's a bold choice, but I respect the choice.
Okay, number 2. I got McDanks. After this pod to celebrate the season end, we are going to get so many nugs. And me and Pat were actually we were all doing the calculations earlier. So typically we get 20 pieces. So every time we get 20 pieces. So if me and Pat go, we get 20 pieces, medium fries, and 2 large drinks. Comes out to $22.20. If we go 5 times, we have spent precisely $111 on chicken nuggets. No, on McNuggets, because we don't know if they're...
We don't know if they're really
So,
number 1. I think I
Chick-fil-A.
already know you went with Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
So, number 3 for me, it's a little bit of an iffy topic. KFC. I like
Why
KFC.
Weird. I haven't been there in a while.
Why is it
I kind of want to go now.
Why is it iffy?
Why is it iffy?
Because
No,
sometimes
oh.
people really don't like KFC, and people are like, "Oh, KFC, it's
Heart attack.
It's great, yeah, exactly. It's a heart attack. I have had heart palpitations while eating it, and I'm like, no, it's finger looking good. It's so no, it's finger looking good.
I've had
It's so
heart
good.
palpitations
Number
while
2, the most
consuming
slept on. My number 1 is Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Number 2, the most slept on fast food of all time.
McDanks is not in your top
Not
3.
even in my top 3. Wendy's. Number 2 is Wendy's. It is the most slept on fast
Wow.
food of all time. Better
Wow.
ingredients.
We hit there a lot.
Better pizza.
Better quality. Shut up. Better quality. I love the strawberry lemonades.
Yes.
I'm a big lemonade guy.
Hot take, I don't like
Frosties.
strawberry lemonade. I like pink lemonade, but I don't like strawberry
You're a
lemonade.
bitch. Guys.
Number 3, I have Wendy's. Number 2, I have McDonald's. Number 1, I have Chick-fil-A. It's my list. Done. Nothing else. That's it. That's it.
Boys, we've come to that point. This is the last one of the season. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back.
We'll be
We'll be
back.
back. We'll be back.
For season 2.
Well, not, you're just leaving me hanging.
Sure.
You're just gonna, boys. Back for March Madness for season 2, fantasy. We got all coming up next year. One last time. For now. I'm Neil.
I'm Pat.
I'm Michael.
This is the. We'll see you next year.
Let's go.
Oh my god.